Russia just released the name, details, and the face and everything about the assassin that killed Alexander Dugin's daughter past Saturday in a car bomb in Moscow. Ladies and gentlemen, when you think about an assassin, you will think of somebody in a black suit, this well-built men, handsome-looking guys, that can speak all sorts of languages, these 007 type figures. It turns out that it's a woman. Her name is Natalia Vovk. She's a Ukrainian national. She's got her fingers in a lot of pies if it gets to military operations, including the neo-Nazis within inside Ukraine. Ladies and gentlemen, this woman made her way into Russia on July 23rd. She used Donetsk number plates. She made her way into Russia. When she got into Russia, she switched the number plates to a friendly former Soviet Union country called a Kazakhstan number plate. She drove around Russia, lived in Russia all that time. She even lived in the same building as what Alexander Dugin's daughter lived. She's been caught on camera in the hallways in that complex. Then the Saturday after the bombing, she made her way out of Russia into Estonia, and she switched the number plates again to Ukrainian number plates as she escaped. Even more crazy, she got into Russia being a blonde. She left being a brunette. She had a child, her daughter, with her. And that is how they believe she made her way around Russia more easily, because she has been outed by the Russian, FSB before. Her photo and details has been released previously. She's a very bad person. So she used her daughter to get around Russia, to get things done basically, planning everything, planting the bomb. Now, furthermore, a lot of people think this assassination was intended for Alexander Dugin, the father. I just want to make something clear. He's not an ally of Putin and the brain of Putin. This guy literally, he's a philosopher. A lot of people didn't even know him. Right? He's a philosopher. He's just a serious patriotic individual if it gets to Russia. So she escaped. Her daughter escaped. Now Alexander Dugin's daughter is dead. He's grieving. It's sad. I mean, most of you guys are fathers. I'm a father. Can you imagine? The car the bomb went off was his car. She drove it back from the family reunion or family meeting, whatever that was, and she got blown up. I want to make something clear. This was 100% intent and perfectly planned to kill his daughter. The reason this happened, my friends, is because they want to send a message to Putin. You must remember, this comes from the Ukrainian side, which is backed by the US and NATO and all these mastermind of this criminal organization. They want to send a message to Putin saying, you are next. We can get into your backyard and we can dominate your feelings by assassinating the philosopher that you really like, your friend, his child. We have that ability and we can plan it so perfectly. We can even be so arrogant of letting her live in the same building, under the radar. Now Russia Putin responded by saying his condolences, and they say they're not going to retaliate, they're not going to do anything crazy because that is what the enemy wants. They want revenge, obviously they want revenge, but they're not going to do it because then they fall for the trap. I believe Russia is going to come back with a smart way. Look, there's one thing you guys need to understand: never fuck with a Russian. These guys know what they are doing, and if you really hurt them too much, if you cross their red lines, you're gonna end up being the one crying at the end of the day. I feel this is coming, although the Russians say no, we're not going to fall for the trap. I just have this feeling something is going to happen, and you don't fuck with Russians. That's my point. But even worse, sick and scary, and not even scary, just sick and crazy about this whole thing is, when you look at the Western mainstream media, they are praising this. They are celebrating the death of a journalist. Because you guys must remember, Alexander Dugin's daughter, she was a great journalist. She's a scientist. She's a war correspondent. Yeah, she's a philosopher as well. She have the same mindset as a father if it gets to, ideas. But that is where it gets crazy. The Western media is praising this. They are raving and celebrating her death, a brutal terrorist attack. That's what it was. A cold-blooded murder. They are celebrating it. Why? Because they have a different thought. They have a different thought than what the narrative is pushing onto the people and down their throats in the Western world. How dare this Alexander Dugin and his daughter have a different thought, a dangerous thought. Now, the reason I'm a little bit worked up because they even placed Roger Waters, the front man, ladies and gentlemen. You know who Roger Waters is. They even placed him on a death list in Ukraine. They don't want people to have a different thought than what the Western mainstream media and the narratives and propaganda arms and the global elites want you to believe in. If people have a different thought, or if you get thinkers out there, you are in danger. If you're a journalist, philosopher, you have your own little podcast, whatever. But if you are a thinker and you have a different thought, you are in danger in the times we're living in. Now, I want to ask you, who's really the criminals here? Russia's got free speech. They even claim this liberal media, and I tell you guys, the new liberals in America is a disaster. It is cancer to this world. Apart from the celebrating of her death, they want to go so far and they want to blame Putin. Say, no, Putin did it. It's a false flag. Putin did it. And then they went more crazy. They said, no, Alexander Dugin did it. He killed his own daughter. Putin and Alexander Dugin is conspiring this plot. Jesus Christ. This guy is broken. He lost his daughter, not by natural death, by being blown to pieces. You fucking idiots. You're heartless piece of shits. Now, again, the message I want to push out today, I'm a little bit pissed off with this whole thing. I'm going to stay on top of this story and keep you guys updated. But if you think differently than what the West and the Western mainstream media and the narrative and the global elites try to feed you, if you think differently, if you are a thinker, if you have a podcast, if you are an influencer, you are in trouble. Because who's next? They even want to kill Roger Waters because he has a different way of thinking. If you have a little bit of an influence, you are in danger. Now, you want to tell me America is this freedom society, or the West is this freedom, amazing democracy society? It's a fucking lie, and you guys better wake up. And what happened here was not a false flag by Putin and Alexander Dugin. It's a man that lost his child through terrorism because he have a different thinking than the Western mainstream media and the narratives in the West. I don't even want to go on too long on this. I see we are 9 minutes, so I'm going to let it go. Click like, click subscribe. But I guess the biggest question is, now that she escaped, what's next? What's going to happen, Jerry? Well, I don't know. But I'm sure as fucking hell going to update you once I know. See you later.